I feel like I have a real issue with the random thoughts that can pop into my head. I'd say I have a pretty good relationship with the inner voices that I talk to. Now, some would say that I need to talk to a doctor about that, but it's safe to say I never act on those voices or thoughts. At no point am I driving on a highway, a bridge comes along, and I say, you know what? Wouldn't it be crazy if I made a sharp right turn and drove off the bridge? Obviously, I've never acted on those intrusive thoughts, or else I'd probably not be here recording this right now. All jokes aside though, I believe it's normal to have an inner monologue with yourself. Healthy even, although I'm not a psychologist, so maybe I really am just one crazy nut who deserves to be tossed into Arkham Asylum. Oh well. I will say, the inner monologue that I have going on in my head while watching a bunch of these shows is insane, but I realize that isn't so much an inner monologue as it is an analysis. You know, something we all have when watching or observing something. A lot of the time, it would be better if I could simply turn off my brain, but I can't help myself. And because of that, I have a bunch of dumbass thoughts that tend to flood my head. It's funny because even on Twitter, you know, the fun side without all the hate and drama, there has been a wave of posts about Robin from Teen Titans, and how he is insanely strong for a human. And no lie, even seeing clips years removed from watching the show as a kid, I was like, Robin is not human. No way is he going up against Cinderblock and punching and kicking the ever-living out of him without breaking every bone in his body. And not to mention that he's actually hurting Cinderblock. I mean, have you ever stubbed your toe on the edge of your bed or a door? Okay, cool. Now imagine kicking an actual Cinderblock. That shit is not light work. Like, what the f did Batman have going on before Robin went up along his merry way out of Gotham City? And this isn't even Batman with the excessive plot armor, with all the weapons and gadgets and upgrades I'm talking about here. I'm just talking about Robin with a staff, hands, and feet. Teen Titans Robin should be classified as a metahuman. End of discussion. I mean, look at this. Literally putting the fear of God in this Slade bot. You know Slade isn't programming this shit to have fear. So why is it looking all terrified at Robin? What the hell is Robin? And I get the showrunners want to make their characters as dope as possible and as entertaining as possible, and that can result in crossing the line to where the audience has to suspend their disbelief a bit. But all of that to the side for a sec, it makes you wonder that if this Robin is so cracked up, that must mean that the Batman in the world of Teen Titans is an absolute unit of a problem for the streets of Gotham. Batman gotta be beating Penguin's ass, taking his umbrella and using the end of it as a toothpick, or even turning Clayface into a dining room table vase, or turning Killer Croc into a pair of shoes. Honestly, the Teen Titans world might be the only version of Gotham where the crime rate isn't totally abysmal. Maybe that's why Robin left, because he wasn't needed as much, so he stretched his wings and dipped up out of there. The Arkham series Batman probably couldn't even hold a candle to this Teen Titans version of Batman. On some real shit though, Child Protective Services should definitely be in front of Bruce's doorsteps. There is no reason why Robin, a regular human, should be beaten up on metahumans with superhuman strength and durability. You can't tell me the man didn't inject Robin with some of that venom from Bane. I refuse to believe otherwise. But shout out to Teen Titans and Robin's metahuman ass, drug-filled ass self. On another note, I have never questioned how some cartoons can have these insane catastrophic events that happen, and how by the beginning of the next episode everything is back to normal. This is called a snapback, or a reset where none of the catastrophic events or consequences are carried over into the next episode. This happens across a ton of shows, most notably cartoons, like the OG Powerpuff Girls. The city would be getting f***ed sideways on a Wednesday afternoon, with the girls indirectly f***ing it up and having the kaiju-sized monsters doing their thing, In the next episode, in that half an hour time slot, Townsville would be looking like nothing happened. And this is where my psycho overthinking ass brain goes, watching this kind of shit with an older brain. Things like how much would it cost to constantly repair the city, why people decide to keep living there with all the abnormal bullshit going on during multiple times within that same week, and how Townsville gotta be up there with Gotham City as one of the worst places to live. You got a green monkey with 2/3 of his brain hanging out of its skull, an endless supply of kaijus who seem to see Townsville as the #1 kaiju vacation spot, and an all-powerful dimension demon that can just fuck things up whenever they want because they're bored. I might just prefer Gotham City over Townsville. No bullshit. Yo, forget the monsters and villains for a sec. Do y'all know how terrifying the fucking Powerpuff Girls would be in real life? No ears, no nose, no fingers or toes, and they have eyes the size of teacup saucers that take up over 50% of their faces. Hey man, real quick before I move on, I'm all for killing a villain who keeps trying to get their evil plans off and harming people, but the Powerpuff Girls low-key be on some fucked up bullshit too. How they fucked up Mojo in a prison cell for taking away candy that wasn't even theirs. They pretty much put his monkey ass in a full body cast. Mind you, this is after breaking into the prison cell first. Then they get to fly away and Mojo can't press any charges. How are the girls not reprimanded? Mojo has a different set of morals than me, man. I'm not gonna lie. He really let them all slide. After their whole agreement of them busting him out of prison so that they could stop him just so that they can get a reward from the mayor, which was the candy that he stole. Sure. But did you see the ass whooping that they laid down on his ass? Was that really justified? Was the punishment fair for the crime that he committed, which again was just taking away candy? Those ungrateful little shits. Alright, I'm overthinking it too much. But nah, real quick again, man, not even Batman be f***ing up his villains like the Powerpuff Girls do. Like, why did Buttercup have to rearrange that monkey's mouth like that? Do you know how mad you have to be at someone to stuff your whole foot in their mouth? Well, to be fair, the girls are 60% cranium and 40% stub. But I guess I shouldn't expect too much from the same show that had the mayor punching people in their shit with an extendo boxing glove.
Look, more criming! Take this!
Mayor, those are tourists!
And some of this!
Oh my god,
And a
sorry!
little of that!
Please visit again
How about
soon!
some of this?
Mayor, control
And
yourself!
these?
Please stop! Oh, don't!
Vile scum!
That shit dead blew up a missile, no problem whatsoever. Regardless, this reminds me why these savage little thugs ought to be on more polls on who would win a fight. The girls are getting Omni-Man and Mark out of here. They're running through the JJK cast. They're taking down a lot of these characters who are always on some power scaling bullshit. The Powerpuff Girls are truly underrated menaces. But back to what I was saying. They really did all of that to Mojo? Seriously? All over candy? Candy? Are we being serious? Okay, I'm gonna just start moving on. And shout out to Miss Bellum. Speaking about kaiju though, I respect kaiju number 8 for showing the side of the aftermath and how things aren't instantly back to normal in the next episode. I know there's a Marvel crew that supposedly shows up after big events that happen and ends with millions of dollars worth of damages, and they essentially pull up, clean, and repair shit. Honestly, I find that shit kind of funny, because this isn't always brought up, but it's nice to see some level of thought go into that, even if it's small. But back to kaiju number 8, it's cool seeing the other side of all the heroic mayhem that usually happens in these worlds. Having to clean up the mess left behind by kaiju's corpses is something I would not stop thinking about even if this show never addressed it. Without knowing what the show was about, it was legit the first question I asked myself when Mina got all up in them guts before blasting it across the city. One final quick one that I want to get off real quick is in Dragon Ball Z. And I could spend a little bit more time on Majin Buu. Now he has the powers to basically cure the blind and who knows what other illnesses he could cure. Instead, he'd rather sit down and wait for food to come to him when he could make his own damn food. Fucking genie. But speaking of genies, I want to look at the Namekians real quick before I end this video. You got Piccolo with the beam clothes, man. You know how tough that shit is? Beam clothes? I could make whatever kind of clothes I want? Hey man, Frieza got that shit wrong being the emperor of the universe. Man literally could have had all of them Namekians in the sweatshop cooking up some heat for the universe. But instead he gotta be on some evil bullshit. I mean, not to say that the sweatshops wouldn't be evil, but come on, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, this was kind of fun. Maybe I'll end up doing a part 2 of this. So, until next time.